Hi everyone. I wanted to do a quick pop-up here on a video again, just to share some of the resources that we will be using throughout our training. I will be listing this down as well too, but if you would like to take some notes, that would be great as well. The first thing that I want to share is I'm going to share my screen here is that we have, okay. So the first one that I want to show you is Calscape. So calscape.org is going to be the best um, native plant database that you can find in California. Right. This is what I constantly use. You can type in your address here. It'll tell you all the salvias that you can find or that naturally grows in your area. It will tell you as well the nurseries that are available, its range, about the description of the plants, landscaping information. We love that. Um, and really good resources here, design and inspiration. So that's calscape.org. Another important one. So iNaturalist. iNaturalist is really good. I'm pulling out my phone right now, not because someone texted me, but because I am going to show you if you have not downloaded iNaturalist um, on your phone. Oh gosh, nope, you are not going to be able to see this. But basically, this is iNaturalist in uh, the web page form in your browser, but this is mostly an app. And what it does is it's for community to be able to become a scientist and by logging observations. So let's say these are all of our observations here at the Natural History Museum, and we are only taking observations of the pollinators, the birds that we see, and super proud to say that we have 278 species observed here in our own habitat garden. So how cool is that? Not just plants. Plants are not even recorded here. We have 250 plants, but this is one way of being a community scientist. So you're helping create data and create observations to let everyone know, to let ecologically, so we can track these species, right? It also helps you identify species. So very useful. Again, iNaturalist. If you can get a head start now, download it on your phone now, and it will be something that we will use all the time. Another great resource is Circes.org. Our entomologists and vertebrate zoologists are members of Circes Society. They're a great resource for how you would maybe invite pollinators into your home, plant for pollinators. So we're going to, well, I refer to this a lot when I think of, different cultures or different practices is the word that I'm looking for, practices that we would do in our own native garden, right? To be able to attract all of these pollinators. One, again, I will write all of these down for you, but if you're taking notes, that's a great thing too. Another least known website that I think is such a great plethora of useful information, especially with native plants. That's not necessarily in Calscape, is laspilitas.com. Las Pilitas is one of the original or the first native plant nurseries here in California. I think they started in like 1979. So they have a really good um information about even different plant communities. So, like for example, here, sage shrub scrub. These are different plant communities that you would see throughout California. the chaparral, coastal sage scrub, southern oak woodland. So this is a really good reference to find out the different kinds of plant communities that we can find here in California, because there is a ton. Yeah, so that's laspilitas.com. Another one is California Native Plant Society.org, CNPS.org. They do have a lot of tools here, a lot of resources as well. CNPS is the one that is responsible for Calscape. So a lot of, California Native Plant Society, Calscape, but they do have other helpful tools here as well. And on top of that, we have a lot of books that we can refer to. One of them will be, I think, super important is our Kumeyaay ethnobotany. So I'm going to stop sharing here because I'm going to now put you back into so Kumeyaay ethnobotany. This is a really great book that will tell you all of the plants that our Kumeyaay people that they have relationship with, that they use and still use throughout their lifetime here. So really good reference for this one. As you can see, I use it a lot. A lot of our plants in the garden are here. This is California sagebrush. So you can see, kind of tells you the uses, especially their indigenous use and also ethnobotany use. Really good book. Another good book to find out just culinary use of California native plants. I know a lot of us, including me, tend to love it when you're able to eat, put the plants in your diet. So Living Wild, and this is Gardening and Cooking with Native Plants. The author she's more of Northern California, so there's a little bit more Northern California plants here, but there are good Southern California plants too, like hummingbird sage lemonade. I figured out how to make it from here. So both of these are good for kind of ethnobotany and culinary use of our plants. We do have Matt Ritter. So Matt Ritter is one of my favorite California native plant authors. He's written, I think, 3 books now. One of my favorite one is California Plants by Matt Ritter, because they are categorized. This is a wild cucumber. They are categorized by plant communities. So this is right now we're in shrublands. So we find this a lot in our chaparral and coastal sage scrub area, right? Or wild cucumbers. And then we have wildflowers and grasses, forest and woodlands. So again, that's California Plants by Matt Ritter. It gives you the range of the plants. It tells you the family, which is great. Another book that I really used out of him is this A California Guide to Trees Among Us. So this is not all native plants. However, these are the most common trees that you can find in our neighborhood in California, and it tells you where they're from. So this is a carrotwood tree. It's from northeastern Australia. It tells me that, and I'm sorry, you can't really see it on camera, but California Trees Among Us. This is his new book, California Trees, and these are all California endemic. So that means that you can only find these trees in California. So really, really good. Good reference as well. It gives you the range of where you can find it. And this is the Engelmann spruce. You have an Engelmann oak. Now we have spruce as well. That's cool. So that is Matt Ritter, one of my favorite California plant authors. I use his books quite a lot. And of course, we have an original book by Carol Borstein. It is California Native Plants for Your Garden. It's quite extensive, lots of details in here. Like, for example, I just found out today, like Sacred Datura, like Georgia O'Keeffe, like drew Sacred Datura a lot, and she was very much kind of attracted to it. And I found that out in a spec this morning. So how cool is that? Carol Borstein's also one of the LA Natural History Museum horticulturist. She's very famous for her work. So this is a good extensive book, I would say. One of the really good book that I kind of just came across with this year is Native Plant Gardening for Bees, Birds, and Butterflies. And notice it's Southern California. So if you find like native plant books that are Southern California focused, that's even better because I mean, Northern California and Southern California, completely different climate, right? Even here in San Diego, we have a completely different climate. How gorgeous is this? A delphinium? Oh, it's a lupine. How beautiful. Like, see, tells you what kind of pollinators they're attracting. Is this a verbena? No, Phacelia. Cool. Another good one is a Southern California flip book. So Southern California, native plants for Southern California gardens. And I think CNPS is one of the ones who's printed these. I use this a lot in school. It tells you it's not that comprehensive, but I mean you'll be able to get by. And this is an Encilia. And what I love is they tell you about the plants and it gives you of like how big it actually is, right? Because then like tiny photos, I'm like, okay, is that this big? Is that like large? But gives you a scale, which is great. We have, of course, our very own John Redman. He is our curator of botany. This is the Baja California plant field guide. It doesn't tell you how to take care of plants, but it helps you identify the plants and tells you about the plants. We have quite a few of these plants in our garden because Baja plants tend to work really well in San Diego. So again, Baja California Field Guide, written by our very own curator of botany, John Redman. You will be meeting him as well. I think he's on our 4th week of training. We will be visiting the herbaria, so you are more than welcome to ask him all of the questions. He's a really great resource as well for the Nat Garden Corps. We have the next one is one of my most favorite books that an author that quite literally changed my life and how I view our natural world is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. So she is a botanist, an author, a member of a Potawatomi Nation. And she's written Gathering Moss as well. She's written this, well, The Serviceberry. She really talks about how we as humans and people interact with our natural world and what is that story that's been here for a while and how we might be able to place ourselves into the natural world. And Breeding Sweetgrass, if you've read this, if you've listened to it, it's such an amazing book. I mean, we're not going to go in depth about this book, but it's just, if you're looking for a good read, Breeding Sweetgrass, Gathering Moss is also a good one. And I do have the service berry in our curriculum. It is a super easy read. It's photo, like, but it really talks about like the service berry economy, right? And we'll talk about that more and what that means, like a robin and a service berry. These are easy. This is an easy read, a quick read per se. You can find these books in Spotify. If you have Spotify, if you're a Spotify member, they are free in your audiobook. They are included. So that's amazing. I tend to not get to like it's hard for me to sit down and really read a book, but I do a lot more audiobooks. So audiobooks is amazing as well too. Another audiobook or another book that I unfortunately don't have in front of me. So I'm going to share my screen. This is the last one that I'm going to talk about is the Nature's Best Hope by Doug Tellamy. Doug Tellamy is an entomologist on the East Coast, but he was the one who really opened my eyes why we need native plants and what is their purpose, right? Um, and I think that the native garden or native habitat garden itself is the very best way, is a very great example of what he's talking about here. And we'll uncover more of that throughout this next 4 weeks that we are together. I do have one of his talks that you have to listen to, I think, in one of the weeks if you look at our syllabus. So Doug Tellamy is someone that's so amazing and really opened my eyes to why we need native plants and all of the benefits that our native plant does for us. And all we have to do is plant one in our own backyard, right? How easy is that? So those, I want to make sure that I have everything. Those are the resources that I want to highlight, as well as we have hikes with our canyoneers. So if you're familiar with our canyoneer hikes, you can find them on our website. Our canyoneers are also uh, they're very knowledgeable about our natural environment, and they will point out all of the different plants to you. That is great. And we have, if you go out birding out there, there's many bird groups now that will get you exposed to all of these kinds of kind of thing. CNPS San Diego, I am a part of CNPS San Diego, an active member. We meet every first Tuesdays of the month here at Casa del Prado from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 6 to 8, I would say. But yeah, those are the resources that I would suggest to start with. Again, you do not have to purchase all of this, as we have them in our own library here, and we'll tour that on our second week, I believe. You can find these books at our local libraries, and you can also find them used too, so for very cheap. And yeah, so reach out if you have any questions, and I'm excited to see all of you.